Well, we've seen showing you these troubling videos over the last few days as a rise of anti-Semitic hate has led to attacks on the Jewish community here in America. And now the Anti-Defamation League has released data showing the extent of this hate. As an analysis of Twitter shows, over 17,000 tweets. How are they allowed to get away with this? Using some variation of the phrase, Hitler was right, in the 7 days surrounding the start of the recent conflict in Israel. Here to react is Israel's ambassador to the U.S. and UN, Gilad Erdan. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You're actually my first on-set guest, too, since COVID, so it's quite an honor and quite fitting. Before we talk about what's happening, the anti-Semitic attacks happening here in the United States, which is so unfortunate to see, talk to me about this sort of the outcome of this conflict. Hamas trying to declare victory, Israel saying, of course, it was our victory. What's the status there?
Look, it's always the way of those terror organizations that are suppressing their own people to declare a victory, because that's the way they continue to keep their, regime alive.
Yeah.
But that's not the truth. We succeeded to hit them hard. We significantly degraded their military and terrorist capabilities. We took out many of their militant commanders. We dismantled a huge part of their subterranean, terror tunnels that they have built under the city of Gaza. But unfortunately, it's only a band-aid. It's not a cure. The cure for Gaza will happen only after after there will be a regime change and after the Gaza Strip will be demilitarized, because as long as they are allowed to produce missile and rocket and the international community basically gives them a pass to continue with it, so they will use it, this vicious method, and will attack our civilians time and again. And we will have no other choice but to defend our own citizens.
Absolutely. There was no doubt under the Trump administration of the overwhelming support for the state of Israel. How have you perceived the support of the Biden administration as Israel has had to do what it needs to do to defend its people whose rockets are raining down on cities further into Israel than ever before? Has the Biden administration been as supportive as you would like?
Yes, and I don't intend to give grades to the presidents of the the presidents of the United States. I was encouraged because I was on the president and the prime minister calls. Each time they spoke on the phone, like 6 times, and I heard a strong commitment that came from the president to the security of the state of Israel and our right to defend our citizens. He even said yesterday or 2 days ago in his statement that he's committed to replenish the Iron Dome system. So yeah, he supported us. We didn't agree on everything. I mean, the timing when to end this operation exactly.
Are you saying you would have liked more time to
I'm not sure.
hit Hamas?
I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure, because there is no specific formula when you need to end those military campaigns. You have to feel that you already succeeded, to restore your deterrence, and that is something that we will have to see and wait and see if that happened. But as I said, we succeeded to significantly degrade their terror capabilities. They didn't expect such a response from our side, and I hope it will bring us some calm and relative period of time like we had after the last operation that took place in 2014.
Prime Minister Netanyahu said if even a few rockets are launched to break the ceasefire, there will be an overwhelming response as well.
Definitely. We will never accept a terror organization indiscriminately firing missile and rockets at our civilian, and no other country would tolerate.
Could? Nobody could.
No other country. That's what I asked member states here at the UN. When I spoke here, I looked in their eyes and I said, what would you do if those were your citizens, your children running to the shelters?
Real quick, the anti-Semitic attacks we're seeing in the United States, what do you make of that, and should more be done here?
Well, I think it's appalling. I saw one of the attacks that took place happened just
a couple of blocks from here.
Yeah, here and near my embassy, near the Israeli consulate on the 2nd Avenue, and it's appalling. But it's not Israel's problem or the Jewish problem. It's a worldwide phenomena. It's an American phenomena. It's the oldest form of racism, and this is something I expect all public figures here to condemn, and to condemn strongly. And also I expect, the governors, the mayors, the administration
Has
to
there been strong enough condemnation, especially from Democrats? Not to get partisan, but has there been enough
it's not about
condemnation from leadership?
I expect everyone, all public figures, to condemn it and to demand the governors, the mayors, the administration to take all necessary steps to make those perpetrators to pay a heavy price for what they are doing now, because it's appalling. And it's appalling not for Israel, it's for the American society.
Well, one thing I think our viewers hope understand is the existential nature of your job, of the people that live under siege in the state of Israel, fighting for your very existence every single day, surrounded by neighbors who have hated you, although there's been more peace, and by neighbors who fund groups like Hamas to fire missiles on your population. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And Godspeed to everyone in Israel and Jews throughout the world who are facing.
Thank you for having me, and we'll continue to fight terrorists and terrorism.
Amen. Well said. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.